Well, hello everyone, this is Wilson Cole and I'm president of Adams, Evans & Ross, and I want to discuss this month's issue of the state of staffing. And what we have been noticing is that staffing and recruiting, as far as on the volume that we do, have almost reversed. And let me kind of explain. We deal with about 3,500 clients. Half of our clients are staffing, half of our clients are recruiters. But from a volume standpoint, we typically see about 60% recruiting and 40% staffing during normal times. And some of it's just because, you know, we may have more staffing accounts in, but they may be 5, 10, 15,000. Occasionally we get in these mind-boggling figures, but our average staffing balance is about 17,000. Our average recruiting balance is a little more than 25,000. So just the ticket size is a little bit different. Now our numbers are up 25% for year over date over last year, but what we are seeing is where typically it's 60% recruiting, 45% staffing. Those numbers have changed, and really it's not rocket science. It's basically people are using recruiters slightly less than they have in past years, just as an industry, because of some of the uncertainty in some of the sectors. But staffing, whenever that uncertainty kicks in, typically increases up. Also, companies are getting into trouble quicker with staffing, in my opinion, than they typically do with recruiting. And the reason for that right now is a lot of companies find themselves, either their bank is, if you're in the tech industry, some of your banks have shut down or been dissolved, but that kind of has a ripple effect on money coming into new businesses. So a lot of times what happens is either they're using staffing and then they get caught in a cash crunch because maybe their credit lines evaporate or something along those lines, or they see a cash crunch coming in, they're about to lose their credit line with the bank. What they do is they shift that responsibility of payroll over to staffing. Now, that can still be very profitable, but just understand you've almost positioned yourself somewhere between a staffing firm and a bank, and quite frankly, in my opinion, it's somewhere kind of in between there. We've had that discussion many times, and the biggest thing that I tell all of our staffing clients is if somebody were to pick up the phone and call you and ask for $10,000, you'd laugh, you'd hang up the phone, and you'd go tell everybody that you ran into about the nut that called you. The one thing that you need to realize is every time that you extend credit to companies, especially when it comes to staffing, you're doing exactly that. You're loaning them money because you're having to make the payroll. You're having to make all of those expenses in hopes to get paid. Now, it's very profitable. You know better than I do how profitable it is, but there are certain risks. If you have recruiters that are out there that are looking at staffing, it can be a neat way to generate additional revenues. But I caution you, use best practices when it comes to extending credit. We had a relatively new startup. They provided, I forget exactly what it was, but it could have been where somebody was cutting wood, and they supplied $60,000 to a guy that owned some property, and he was removing trees and selling firewood. Which, there again, I'm sure can be a very profitable business, and if he had been doing it a while, he probably would have been a better credit risk. The problem is he had just started, and I'm not even 100% sure he owned the land where he was cutting the trees off, and probably didn't. He had leased it or something along those lines. So just be careful, know who you're dealing with, check your credit, check the backgrounds, and extend credit based on their credit worthiness versus their needs. So there's a huge difference. Somebody could be a wonderful $5,000 credit risk and a horrible $50,000 credit risk. So I suspect, in the height of things, depending on where the economy goes, I think it could level back out, or we may even see a little bit more of a shift towards staffing, just because of the nature of the industry. We could probably even go somewhere around 35, 65 type split. That's typically where it winds up if it's a true slowdown. I'm always confident in the economy. I'm a firm believer that the economists have predicted 10 of the last 2 recessions. So run your business based on your numbers, not on all the hype. But with that being said, just make sure if you're extending out credit that you are making sure that you're following best practices. If you need our help on collections, or if you want to find backdoor hires, please visit us at staffingdebt.com or either at backdoorhires.com. And thank you.
Hey guys, it's Wilson again, and this video was brought to you by Adams, Evans, and Ross. And if you like the video, please make sure that you click on the subscribe button and also like the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those below as well. If you'd like to learn more about our company, please visit our website at staffingdebt.com. And also remember, if there's no collection, there's absolutely no cost at all.